Ever get that feeling, like you're running on a financial treadmill,
Yeah.
working hard, maybe even making good money, but you still feel like one unexpected bill away from just complete meltdown?
Yeah,
We've all been there.
absolutely.
It's a total head scratcher.
It is.
You hear these stories like Mike Tyson, heavyweight champ, earning over $300 million and still declaring bankruptcy.
Yeah,
Clearly, there's more to this money thing than just how much you rake in.
for sure.
What if I told you that this deep dive is all about shifting your entire money mindset to stop stressing and start actually using money as an expression of what you value?
It's a fascinating topic, isn't it? We often get so caught up in the day-to-day of earning and spending that we miss the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Most of us think of money simply as, well, money.
Right.
It's how we buy things, pay bills, the basic medium of exchange.
Totally, but it's like we're just going through the motions.
Yeah.
Swipe the card, get the groceries, repeat.
But what if we look deeper? Instead of just a tool, what if money is actually a reflection of value itself?
Okay.
Think about it.
Okay.
Every time you spend money, you're saying, this thing I'm buying is worth X amount of my resources.
Yeah.
Same goes for earning.
That works here.
Your skills, they have value that's represented by the money you get paid.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not about the bills themselves, it's about the meaning behind them.
Right.
But how does this value idea help us break free from that paycheck to paycheck struggle that so many of us face?
That's where the real magic happens.
Oh.
It's not just about the amount, but how that money flows through your life.
Okay.
We call it the production versus consumption model.
Okay.
Production is about creating value, whether through a job, side hustle, even hobbies that generate income. Consumption, obviously, is how we spend that value.
Okay, and here's the kicker.
Okay.
A whopping 78% of American workers are living paycheck to paycheck.
It's crazy.
And get this, that includes folks pulling in six-figure salaries. So clearly just earning more isn't the silver bullet.
Exactly. It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket.
Yeah.
No matter how much you pour in, it keeps draining away.
Right.
That's where net worth comes in.
Okay.
It's not just some number financial advisors throw around. It's the scoreboard for this whole production consumption game.
Right.
Think of it this way. Are you adding more to your bucket than you're leaking out?
Okay, I'm starting to see the connection here.
Yeah.
So it's less about being a Scrooge and more about understanding where your value goes.
Right.
But how does this all tie into the whole rat race thing?
Think about it. The classic rat race isn't just about being stuck in a cubicle. It's about constantly chasing money, but never feeling financially secure.
Right.
When you're living on that edge, any unexpected expense, car trouble, medical bills, throws your whole world out of whack.
Like constantly being one step away from disaster,
Yeah.
right? No wonder so many people feel stressed and trapped.
Exactly, and that stress feeds into the cycle.
Yeah.
You make impulsive decisions, maybe rack up debt, trying to keep up appearances. Suddenly you're running even faster on that treadmill, but getting nowhere.
So how do we jump off this crazy carousel? Where do we even begin to build a healthier relationship with money, especially when it feels like everything is constantly screaming, spend, spend, spend?
It all starts with awareness, and the best tool for gaining awareness is something we've all heard of. But maybe try to avoid budgeting.
Oh, come on, budgeting. That's got to be the least exciting part of this whole money conversation. It feels so restrictive and, well, boring.
I hear you, but here's the thing. Budgeting isn't about deprivation. It's about empowerment. It's about taking control of your money instead of letting it control. You think of it as a financial roadmap, not a set of handcuffs.
Okay, I'm willing to hear you out. How does simply tracking my spending actually empower me? It seems more like a recipe for guilt trips after a shopping spree.
It's all about understanding your spending patterns. When you see where your money is actually going, you can start making conscious choices that align with your values. Remember that value conversation we had earlier. Budgeting brings it to life.
So instead of mindlessly swiping my card, I'm actually thinking, okay, does this purchase reflect what's truly important to me?
Exactly, and sometimes the answer will be yes, but you'll also start to notice those impulse buys, those keeping up with the Joneses moments where you're spending for the wrong reasons.
I'm definitely guilty of that. It's like social media is a highlight reel of everyone else's spending, making you feel like you need to keep up.
That's where those pesky cognitive biases come in. We're wired to make irrational decisions sometimes, especially with money. Take hyperbolic discounting, for example. That's the instant gratification monster choosing that tempting purchase and now W over saving for a bigger goal later.
Oh, I know that monster all too well. It's like my brain goes, shoes? Now, retirement can wait.
Exactly, or how about social proof? It's not just keeping up with the Joneses next door anymore. It's comparing ourselves to everyone on Instagram, feeling pressure to have the latest gadgets, the perfect vacation photos, even if it means going into debt.
So it's like we're fighting against our own brains, plus the influence of social media, which makes it even harder to make rational financial choices. But how do we even begin to combat all of that? It feels like an uphill battle.
Awareness is the first step, and then it's about building those financial muscles. One of the most powerful exercises is the concept of living below your means. It's not about deprivation, but about intentionality.
Okay, but living below your means sounds a lot like eat ramen and never leave the house to my ears. How do we actually do this without feeling miserable?
It's all about finding those little swaps that align with your values. Maybe it's meal prepping a few times a week instead of ordering takeout. Maybe it's finding free or low-cost entertainment instead of blowing your budget on expensive concerts every weekend.
So it's about being creative and finding ways to enjoy life without overspending. It's not about denying yourself. It's about making smart choices that actually make you feel good about your finances.
Exactly. And when you start living below your immune, something amazing happens. You free up space in your budget for things that truly matter, like an emergency fund.
Oh, the emergency fund. That sounds about as exciting as budgeting, to be honest. Why is it so important?
Think of it as your financial safety net. Life throws curveballs, right? Unexpected car repairs, medical bills, job loss. Having that emergency fund gives you breathing room to handle those situations without going into debt or derailing your progress. It's about breaking that cycle of financial stress and feeling truly secure.
Okay, I'm starting to see the light. So we're talking about awareness through budgeting, making mindful choices to live below our means, and building that financial cushion with an emergency fund. It's like we're layering on those protective shields, right? But what about actually increasing our income? It feels like we've been focusing a lot on cutting back.
You're absolutely right, and that's where the production side of the equation comes in. It's not just about managing what we spend, but also about increasing our ability to create value and generate income.
I'm all ears. This is where it gets really interesting for me. Everyone talks about cutting back, but how do we actually earn more, especially when it feels like we're already stretched thin with work and life?
There's a misconception that production just means getting a higher paying job. While that's one path, it's not the only one. Think about it. Production is about creating value in any form. It could be a side hustle, freelancing, turning a hobby into a business, even investing wisely.
So we're talking about expanding our income streams, not just relying on one source, but honestly, it feels overwhelming. Where do we even begin?
It all starts with you.
Okay, that sounds super vague. What do you mean it starts with me? I need specifics. Give me the magic formula.
Think about your skills, your interests, even those things you're good at that you might take for granted.
Okay.
Maybe you're a whiz at organizing and you could offer virtual assistant services. Maybe you create amazing art and could sell prints online.
Okay, I'm starting to see the picture here. It's about identifying those things we're passionate about and finding ways to turn them into something that generates value.
Exactly. And the beauty is, it doesn't have to be a huge leap.
Right.
You can start small, a side hustle, a few hours a week, freelance work on projects you enjoy.
Okay.
The key is to explore, experiment, and find what fits your lifestyle and goals.
This makes me think about the whole zone of geniuses concept.
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot where your passions and skills intersect, where work doesn't feel like work because you're genuinely excited about it.
That's a fantastic way to put it.
Yeah.
When you're operating from that place of passion and purpose,
Yeah.
it not only makes the process enjoyable, but also fuels your creativity and drive.
So it's not just about chasing a paycheck. It's about building a life that feels aligned with who you are and what you value. And who knows that passion could even lead to greater financial success down the line.
It absolutely can when you're genuinely enthusiastic about what you're doing. It shines through in your work. People are drawn to that authenticity and passion, and it can open doors to unexpected opportunities.
This is all incredibly inspiring. We started this deep dive feeling like we were stuck on that financial treadmill, but now it feels like we've been given a whole new map to navigate the world of money and value.
Remember that changing your money mindset and building a more fulfilling financial future takes time and effort.
Right.
It's about small steps, consistent action, and staying committed to your goals even when faced with setbacks.
This has been an incredible conversation, and I'm sure our listeners are feeling empowered to take control of their finances and create a future that truly reflects what matters most to them.
One last thought I'd like to leave you with: never underestimate the power of your own potential. You have unique skills, talents, and experiences that you can leverage to create value and build a life of abundance both financially and personally.
What an amazing way to wrap things up. It's all about embracing that abundance mindset and believing in our ability to create the financial future we desire. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.